Welcome to Peak TV. I'm Niv Dagan, Executive Director of Peak Asset Management, and we've got all the way from Chicago, Michael Capocchi from Beam. Michael, thanks again for joining us.
My pleasure, Niv. Good to see you again.
Michael, as you know, we're a huge supporter of the company. Tell us a little bit more about Zolio and how significant it is for Beam's growth.
Zolio is very significant for Beam's growth. It is an important investment that we've made. This is the product just here, just to remind everyone what it looks like. This is a world's first satellite communicator. It basically gives people the ability to be able to communicate anywhere on Earth. They can either communicate sending an SOS or a check-in directly from the device, or by simply using the Zolio app downloaded to their smartphone, gives them the ability to send text messages, send text emails, check weather, and also be able to generate an SOS alert at any point in time. The device itself works standalone. Literally, you have an SOS button just on the side of the device here. Gives you the ability to press that button. Even if your smartphone is not connected, that can generate an alert for you. And you can also quite easily just send someone a very simple check-in message by pressing this button just here. And that'll send a current position report to up to 5 of your contacts and give them easy access on a map to see exactly where you are. The product itself is sold in Australia and North America as of when we launched last year. And we're also looking to expand into new markets in the very near future. From a company's perspective, it's a very exciting product. It's a product that is, selling in Australia for $345, $199 being a sweet price point in the US. But the major part for the company is this has a subscription service that goes with the product. So we're generating recurring revenues from the growth in the subscriber base. And the success to date has been extremely good, and the acceptance of the product is proving to be really good worldwide.
And Michael, that's a great explanation. Obviously, you're in the heart of it with the US market really opening up post-COVID. How big is the addressable market, not only in North America, but also here down in Australia?
Yeah, the market's actually much larger than you think. I mean, this is an important part of the market. And obviously, post-COVID, everyone's spending a lot more time in the outdoors. And billion-dollar industries such as, caravan camping, the RV, hiking, kayaking, and also the lone worker market are obviously very big markets for the product. I think you sort of forget that in Australia there's a lot of boat owners. There's 2 million boat licenses in Australia. There's 11 million caravanning trips a year, and just hikers alone, there's 8 million hiking trips that people make in Australia. So those markets are extremely good. You also can't underestimate the opportunities that exist for, we're focused on anyone that lives or plays outside of cellular coverage. And with Australia only having 20% of the surface covered with cellular coverage, very similar to the rest of the world, it's very easy for people to venture into areas. So whether that be, enterprise and government applications or whether it's recreational use, there's some really good opportunities there for people that end up in environments where, we just want to be able to keep in touch. We want to be able to tell someone that we're okay, and to be able to have the ability to, to send someone a text message, to send the current location, let someone know I've set up camp for the night, let my work know that I'm safe or I've arrived at a job site. Having a very compact, easy to use product is really good for that. The market continues to grow. Iridium's personal communication devices, they're expecting a 29% compounded average growth rate through until 2025. And similarly, there's one of our biggest competitors, Garmin. Garmin's seeing massive growth in the outdoor retail space as well. So, we believe we're in a very good time to bring this product to market, and provides, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue for us going into the future.
That would be nice, Michael. Absolutely. So on that point, I mean, who are your biggest competitors? And what are Zolio's main competitive advantages over its competition?
Okay, no doubt Garmin is our biggest competitor in this space. Garmin have had a product for a couple of years now, and that product continues to do quite well. We're addressing a part of the market, and our product stacks up extremely well, and in most areas actually exceeds what the Garmin product does. We brought this product to market to ensure that it was very easy to use and that it provided people a messaging experience that they'd never experienced. So, it's very seamless. We give people a dedicated phone number. We give people a dedicated email address. You download one simple app, and everything for the Zolio service is contained within that app. And as I said, you can either use the app as a standalone with the device or the device standalone on its own. and it makes it very easy for the user to use. All the reviews online, we're selling quite extensively throughout Amazon. All the reviews are extremely positive. Just the out-of-box experience, and the users that have now started to use this product for quite a considerable time. Over 12 months we've had customers now, and the volume of sales, I guess, really dictates the benefit that we have. We've also won a lot of awards in the last 12 months. So whether it be local Australian awards or international awards, recognising the innovation of the product and just the ease of use and the mobility that we're entering into this market. So we're quite optimistic that we've got a product that is being well received in the marketplace, and as we expand our distribution and new markets, will be very successful for us.
Michael, obviously doing a great job, and there's a significant competitive advantage, which is really, really important. So just on the sales side, can you maybe give us a little bit of an understanding of what the sales are like to date and what it looks like over the next 12 or 18 months?
Sure. We haven't disclosed actual customer sales at this point in time due to confidentiality with our joint venture partner. But I guess, I can tell you that we've received, orders from Zolio Inc. for the manufacture of the device to nearly 70,000 units. And all of those devices will actually be shipped by the end of this year. So by the end of 2021, all of those devices will be shipped to Zolio Inc. And they'll be utilised by ourselves, some of those in Australia, and obviously some of them in North America, the majority of them in North America as well. The distribution in North America is quite extensive, and we've started to grow the distribution in Australia as well. The largest outdoor retailers in North America have taken on board the product. It's quite easily available online through Amazon as well, and Amazon's obviously a key market for us. And we're finding very similar things in Australia, that the online purchases are doing very well for us. We've got an extensive dealer network, and Anaconda, being one of our major outdoor retail partners in Australia, is providing very good sales for us. And we've also, as we announced recently, signed on Australia Post. So Australia Post are about to start selling the Zolio product online and through select of their stores, particularly focused in the regional areas. And we think that'll start to give us a lot more coverage and availability of the product. And, I guess what we're starting to see is the level of traction and the awareness of the product in the marketplace, that those numbers will continue to grow. And as I said, the key part is getting the customer to have an active service. We obviously get the subscription for that service, and that service is assigned to Zolio. So you can't buy one of these products and go and hook it up with a competitor. That product, when it's purchased, is hooked up through Zolio directly. Zolio bill that customer for their subscription and any usage. And a big part of our growth is looking at how we actually provide other value-added services. And one we just launched recently is a value-added service called Location Share Plus, and that gives you the ability to provide a periodic report anywhere from 6 minutes to every four hours, and you can configure that on your app, and that will basically send your current position report, almost like breadcrumbs as you're doing a trip. So that's been a very well received service that we launched just this month, and we're looking for that to provide obviously some uptake in people wanting a service that does provide an automated tracking service, and it also provides additional ARPUs for us. So it increases our revenues per user. We did recently announce it in Australia. Our current revenue per user is averaging about $45 per month. So we're quite focused on ensuring that we continue to provide value to our customers, that these value-added services give them something extra and also provide an upside for the company. And I think that the total solution is a very sticky solution. So what we're finding is the customers that activate their device keep their device active. And, we've got a less than 2% churn rate on the devices that have been activated since early last year. So, everything's looking very promising for us.
Yeah, I think that value-added service is fantastic. And obviously, you've got two markets. You've got the business to consumer, then you've got the business to business. And that churn rate, 2%, that's extremely low. Michael, tell us a little bit more about the Zolio joint venture. And there's been a lot of talk about it, but I'd love to hear a bit more about your thoughts about the joint venture and how that's progressing.
Sure. The joint venture was established because Roadpost brought to the market, obviously, a lot of their experience in the North American marketplace, had been selling similar products quite extensively in North America and had a lot of success in that. And obviously, Beam has been developing satellite-based products for, particularly Iridium and other satellite providers for many years. Off the back of all the work that we did on developing the successful Iridium Go product, that provided really a very good base for us to develop a very high quality product, a product that was, virtually waterproof, dustproof, had a very long battery life and ease of operation for the user. So the opportunity to establish a joint venture with Roadpost to bring the Zolio product to market presented a very good opportunity for us. Roadpost bought a lot of back-end infrastructure and online customer care tools. We obviously brought all the hardware to the table, and we obviously had our respective existing distribution channels and market awareness of how we actually brought that to market. So, Roadpost look after North America. We look after the majority of the Asia Pac region. Our major focus has been on the Australian marketplace to start with. We are about to launch New Zealand in July, so that's just around the corner for us. But, COVID obviously did hit us at a tough time just after launching the Zolio product. But I am pleased to say the last few months have been extremely good for us. And I guess we're sort of where we expected to be mid last year. And, we're seeing the uptake from, retailers and customers using the product being extremely good for us. So, the joint venture itself does work extremely well in how we can support the world. It also gives us the flexibility to be able to go and take on new markets like we're planning to do at the moment in Europe. And Europe will be another important market for us. Outside of North America and Australia's Asia presence, anything we do in the rest of the world is shared by the joint venture at a 50-50 level. So we've both got a vested interest to ensure we continue to grow the market and expand into those key opportunities to continue to grow.
And Michael, I know you can't talk subscriptions, but can you give us a sense of a little bit more about the economics of it all?
Sure, it's a good question. We don't report sort of directly how Zolio is going, but I guess, recently we provided an example of, if we end up with 15,000 active subscribers in the Australian market, which is just, looking at our territory only, that has the potential to provide sort of $1.5 to $1.8 million of operating profit per annum for us. And obviously that'll continue to grow. It's a subscription-based service. But, if you look at that in isolation, compared to our profits today, this alone is more than 50% of our FY20 operating profit. The upside of that is the economies of scale as we continue to open up new markets and drive that business. And particularly as we start to focus on the enterprise and government opportunities, in Australia particularly, but also in other markets, some of the volumes that will provide Zolio, where we expand into whether it be emergency services or some of the utilities or mining services companies, we'll really start to see those subscriber numbers go. So, we're quite optimistic as to where this heads. We do believe that the value-added services and the total offering to the customer and the stickiness of how we actually interact the product and the service with the customer, will ensure that we see those churn rates stay quite low.
Yeah, and you did say that you'll, by the end of the year, ship over 70,000 units, and you talked about 15,000. That doesn't even include the US market. So there's obviously a huge opportunity there. And Michael, just lastly, so what are your other revenue growth drivers? You did talk a little bit about New Zealand next month, which is coming up very, very shortly. Sure. You talked about the EU. Can you tell us a little bit more about the company and what it looks like in maybe 6 or 12 months down the track, and why we should be so excited about it?
Okay, I guess there's a couple of facets. Zolio is one important element, but I guess it's important to make sure from a Beam Communications Holdings perspective, there is more to us than just the Zolio business. So our underlying business continues to perform really well. We've got an entrenched relationship with Iridium. We've got a lot of Iridium products. We've got Inmarsat products we've been developing for years. We had the Thuraya Wii terminal as well. But from an Iridium perspective, Iridium is going forward leaps and bounds in, since they've launched their new satellite constellation, which, they invested over $5 billion in putting into space. That network provides speeds that are 35 times faster than what we've been dealing with since we launched some of the first Iridium products. So that's providing some opportunities for us to develop some new products that we'll bring to the marketplace, and we're continuing to invest in those at the moment and working very closely with Iridium to ensure that it aligns with their business. And some of those technologies will, provide some opportunities for growth for Zolio into the future as well. Our Sat Phone Shop business, which is our online business, that is an online business only that provides satellite communication products and services, particularly in Australia. And that does really well. That is Telstra's #1 satellite dealer. That sells satellite phones, it sells the Iridium Go product, and it also sells obviously all the Beam products that we bring to market, making those readily available for people. So that's satphoneShop.com, and that's providing a very good opportunity for us to bring Zolio to the marketplace as well. Other opportunities for us is really, I guess, our market expansion for Zolio. So I mentioned that we're going into New Zealand next year. As part of our territory, we also have China and Japan, which we'll look at sort of in 2022 as well. But our focus at the moment is to look at Europe. Europe provides a very good opportunity for both road post and beam. It's an easily addressable market, and we'll look to launch the Zolio solution in Europe in early of 22. But obviously, just bringing on the new distributors in Australia, and we're very excited about bringing on Australia Post. We're also looking to bring on, obviously, some larger distributors in New Zealand as well as part of our launch in New Zealand. But I guess the overall focus on the enterprise and government markets will also provide some very good upside for us. So we're very excited about the prospects that the company has. I think we've flown below the radar for quite a period of time, as you and I have spoken about before. And I think once the awareness is there of sort of how the recurring revenue model works, some of the new opportunities that we have in the plan to bring to market towards the latter part of this year, and then as we open up those new markets for Zolio elsewhere in the world, we'll really start to sort of cement where the company will be in the future.
Michael, we're big supporters, so thanks again for joining us here at Peak TV.
Thanks very much, Niv. Have a good day.